Hey everyone, Lumiobyte here, and this is episode 2 of my Discord bot tutorial. So let's just start. This is our tutorial bot folder that we created last episode, and I'm just going to open it with code. And this is our file. In this episode, what we're going to do is create some simple commands and learn about command arguments, which is the most essential thing, apart from like making a bot, when you're creating a bot. So let's create a new command by doing @client.command with the parentheses, async def, let's say, and what we'll do is we'll pass ctx and we'll pass our message, and what we'll do is we'll await ctx.send, and then we'll do an f string and say, let's see, we'll say ctx.author.name said message. So this is a simple command that is called say, in which we're passing ctx, which is required, and message as our message. And then we are sending a message which contains the author's name, and it says author's name said message, which is their command argument up here. So let's test this out. We're going to run our bot. It will start up, and look at that, it's online. So what we're going to do is we're going to do help, and you'll see say has automatically been added to the default help command, which is really cool about Discord.py. The default help command automatically lists all your commands. So we'll do !say and test. Lumiobyte said test. Look at that, it works. But there's an issue with this. Let's do say test. But it only said one test. Let's try again. Say hello everyone. It said only hello. Why is it only taking the first word? Well, this is because of command arguments. The way they work normally is you have your command. So your command, right? Actually, I'll do this in here so it's bigger. So the way command arguments work is you have exclamation mark or your prefix, your command, and then separated by a space. First argument is here, second argument, third, fourth, and so on. But what if we wanted to take everything here? What we do is we consume all by doing asterisk, comma, message. So this is like an argument that tells all of the arguments after this, which can only be one, because it's consuming everything, to take everything that is said in here and after here and put it all into one. So basically what we can do is we can pass any other things before this. For example, like let's do a short message, and then this is our full message. So now what I've done is I've added another argument called short message. Because we don't have the asterisk before it, it will not consume everything, and in a situation like hello world, hi, short message will only be equal to hello, whereas because message has an asterisk and then message, it will contain world hi. Because it's consuming everything, you can't have another argument after here, for example our argument test, because test doesn't know what of this to use, because all of it's been used by message. So if you want to have a consume all argument, it has to be the last one in the function. With this, we can now make a nice say command, which will exactly say what the author says. So simply, we can just pass message into ctx.send, and it will exactly say what we tell it to say. So say hello world in code block, it copies me exactly. Let's do some formatting, like say hello italic, and it will copy me exactly. So that's all cool and good, but what if we wanted to make a user info command to get information on a specific user? That would mean we would have to pass in a user. So let's do that. Let's create a user info command. @client.command async def user info. and we'll do ctx. We'll just put await ctx.send placeholder. We'll get to this bit later. So we need to get a user in here. What we could do, for example, is just put user, and then in ctx.send we can do user.id, which will print the user's identification number, which you can obtain by right clicking if you have developer mode on, and you can copy ID. It's an 18-digit number and it looks something like this. So now that we have our user info command here, let's go here and do user info at Lumiobyte. Nothing happened though. Why is that? If we go here, you notice it says str object has no ID. That is because by default all arguments are interpreted as a string. We can use the documentation and see that a user object is a specific type of object, and a string is not that. Therefore, it doesn't have any attributes like name, ID, discriminator, anything else that a user object would have. So, how do we get a user object? Well, what we can do is we can do user : discord.user. This can be anything that is a Discord model as listed in the documentation. But for our user info command, we're going to do the user discord.user. Now, let's try and run this bot. And we'll do user info at Lumiobyte. Whoopsies, user info at Lumiobyte. And now it prints my ID. If you notice, this is actually my correct ID. That is my ID. Now, if we wanted to do this with a role, what we could do is we could do role discord.role. And then what we can do here is we can do the role.id, which will print the role's ID. And let's call this role info now, because we're doing a role and not a user. So let's do role info at cool tutorial bot, and it prints our role's ID. However, if we were to make this, for example, a user, and we will restart our bot and we will do role info at cool tutorial bot, it won't work. This is because this is a user, and nothing but a user can be passed in to a user, obviously. Because what this does is it converts the string and attempts to convert it to this type, whatever you specify here. If it can't, it will throw a long error. Next, I'll do a demonstration of multiple arguments. So let's create another command, client.command, and we'll call it async def multi for multiple arguments, and we'll pass ctx because that's required, and then we'll do role discord.role and user discord.user. What we can now do is we can await ctx.send the role.id and also await ctx.send the user.id. We'll run our bot and we'll do multi, and first argument is a role and second argument is a user. So we'll pass in a role and a user. This is the role's identification number and this is the user's ID. And that's how you can use multiple arguments. The last thing I need to show you is how to use a none argument, which will default to none and not cause a missing argument error, which I'll demonstrate real quick by doing !say, but I don't provide any message. It will throw message is a required argument that's missing. We can fix this by doing message equals none. What this is doing is it's setting message to none before the command is even run. So when the command is run, if nothing is provided by the user, this will automatically default to something and it won't cause an error which is sent when the argument is not provided. So what we can do with this now is we can do if message equals none to check if it's equal to none, and if it is, we can await ctx.send please provide a message and return. So the function does not go any further and just say none, because we don't want that. So what we'll do is we'll save our bot and we'll run the Python file in terminal, and now we'll do !say test. It works the same as always, but if we do !say please provide a message, and it will not cause any errors in the terminal. and it will tell the user what the problem is, and it won't just say none, which is confusing to your user because they don't know what that means. Anyways, this is just the basics of command arguments. They're really simple. It's just you put a name. If you want, you can put a type. You can set them to none so you don't have errors. And these can be almost anything. You can pass anything. You can pass as many as you want, and it makes for very versatile commands. Next episode, I'll be getting into cogs, which is an awesome way to organize your bot's commands and keep everything clean and modular. And it also allows for turning off and on of whatever commands or modules you want on demand while the bot is running, which is pretty fire. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more bot tutorials coming out very soon.